You're watching a TGM production. Read all about it. News of the world, news of the world. Read all about it. News of the world, news of the world. Yes, that is right. Mock the Week returned on February the 1st, 2026. It's been a few years since the BBC cancelled it and it returned on TLC. TLC is a brand new channel to the world of free-to-air TV. This time they air Big Bang Theory, US sitcom, Mike and Molly, US sitcom, Young Sheldon, US sitcom prequel to the sitcom Big Bang Theory, and, for the first time ever on British TV, George and Mandy's First Marriage, which is a spin-off sitcom of the spin-off sitcom of Big Bang Theory. Will TLC get the brand new spin-off? There's a spin-off of Big Bang Theory, which is a sci-fi, or will that go straight to Sky? Only time will tell. Today we are talking about the brand new reboot of Mock the Week. This is based on episode 1 that aired last night at 9 PM. Today's date is the 2nd of February 2026. This review will be biased based on the fact that so far I've only seen one episode. But I thought, I don't think the series is going to be any different from this. Changes to the format this time include and 60 minutes and some brand new rounds. First of all, we'll talk about the bits I didn't like, then we'll talk about the bits I did like. So, the downside, due to episode 1 being the only episode available, I think that they were not really comfortable breaking into the new hour format. So, for me, the show felt like they were adding these rounds just sporadically, like going, yes, let's do another round, another round, another round, another round, another round. I just felt a little bit out of place for the new rounds. To cut into adverts, we'll be back after the break for more Mock the Week. Now, I'm trying to remember how Nevermind the Buzzcocks goes into adverts, because Taskmaster slightly different. I'm trying to think of how TV shows join us after the break. Here's your teaser. The word is have a poo. It's pooing. Have a poo. Right, and so I do think going to adverts is always going to be awkward. Either way, no matter what channel you're on. I think that these extra rounds, I don't know if they are permanent or if they're just going to have a rotation of rounds. It just seemed to be like, you're going to stand up now, you're going to do that. And they said, at one point, I think it was Rhys James, sorry, and Ed Burns. They both sat down after doing a round, if you will. But then they got back up and do the unlikely lines, which was hilarious as ever. So the criticism that the show will face is that these are all old. They've been on it before. They've done it for years. Get new people involved. Well, I think they're going to try and get new talent. I think after a couple of episodes of Mock the Week with these lot. So they might bring in returning people, because what I feel that, because as I've said in my other video about Mock the Week, TLC is new in the comedy game for Mock the Week anyway. So what they've got to do is they've got to try and entertain the viewers enough to say, we want more of this. Now let's get the newbies in, because we've had familiar faces and we've attracted that audience. Hopefully, in 6 months to a year time, we'll get reruns on Dave so that we attract more TLC viewers that way, because that would work. Highly doubt it, but the BBC Studios, I didn't really read what the credits said, but BBC Studios are involved somewhere, and BBC Studios own Dave and the UK TV brand Itchy. So, what I think is that there's going to be something that will come out of that, because I do think it'd be really odd if New Mock the Week isn't repeated on Dave, because classic Mock the Week is repeated all the time, and there's more likely to be an episode of Classic Mock the Week airing at 9 p.m. at the same time as New Mock the Week was. So, yeah. I really like the fact that the channel was okay leaving in all the gags about them. I do think that really worked. My favourite of the new rounds has got to be where they ask the audience questions, because it feels a lot more like a more panel show-esque blame game. Because I think the blame game sort of misses some panel show elements, but I'll review the blame game separately. But what I really like about Mock the Week was that it sort of did the who we've got a question here from Siobhan. Who do we blame for the cost of living crisis? Right, we've got none of that. It's like, which celebrity would you have for Prime Minister? That endures comic timing and lets them all go, ha ha ha, Nigella, ha ha ha, Kathy Burke. And I think it just really works really well. It's got the funny bones and the comic timing. It's just excellent. It's perfection, that round. I think that's one of the new rounds that I really like. So, being in an hour format doesn't really say it's an hour. If you were to cut out with a digital scissor or a razor, right? If you cut it out, yeah, it would probably 30 minutes still, because the adverts make it the hour. I think that Dara was excellent as always, right? I wasn't watching Mock the Week alone, so I asked the person I was with for their opinion, and they said, their quote was, "It feels like Mock the Week, just like the same Mock the Week, just feels like normal Mock the Week." But did you like it? Yeah, it just feels like Mock the Week. I like Mock the Week. It just feels like Mock the Week. That's a compliment. Well done, Mock the Week, for feeling like Mock the Week. I really like Mock the Week. I really like the reboot. Obviously, the new round, because it's episode 1, I do think once you get into episode 3, it'll feel a lot more natural getting into the new round. There'll be less. Now we've got another round. We've got another round. We've got another round. Be like, it's smoother. Elephant in the room. Let's talk about it. Not that joke. Yeah, because that was a really funny joke from Russell Howard. But the elephant in the room is, "Where's Hugh Dennis?" is the comment that keeps on cropping up every time somebody mentions Mock the Week online. Where was Hugh Dennis? Where's Hugh Dennis? Where's Hugh Dennis? Where's Hugh Dennis? Well, Dara O'Brien mentioned it thousands of times. Not really. Mentioned it on Virgin Radio with Chris Evans. And I've mentioned it 1,000 times online. But Hugh Dennis had other filming commitments for the first 2 episodes, apparently. Now, it doesn't say that they've filmed them all in bulk. So, this week's episode, today's Monday, so this Sunday's episode won't feature Hugh Dennis either, because he's not available, but episode 3 will. I now can't remember, which is really annoying, if this is a 3-episode series or the usual amount of episodes we got in a series of Mock the Week. I don't know. Will this get a second series based on the first episode? I hope it does, but I can see it being cancelled after 1 2. Not because of anything to do with the show, it's just because it's on TLC. Just because I know they've done promotion from Here to High Water, and the British Comedy Guide have done their best to promote it. The official accounts online for Mock the Week have tried to promote it like it's no one's business, but I don't know how many people watch TLC. And I know you can catch it up right now on Discovery Plus, but not everyone has Discovery Plus. Yes, some Sky Q users get Discovery Plus in some deal. I don't know what the deal was. But we get Discovery Plus within that, so there is a large amount of users that will have Discovery Plus that probably don't know. But the free-to-air users, the users that are watching TLC on free-to-air TV, they might not have Discovery Plus. So rewatch value isn't going to work. I don't know how profitable, from a channel's point of view, are the clips online. Yes, clipping it up and having it like millions of different clips. How are you going to be able to, as a channel, go, right, yeah, that was popular enough, let's renew it for a second series? I could say that a lot of one series shows have like millions and millions and millions of views online with their clips on YouTube and other social, YouTube is not social media in my opinion, but other platforms. So I'm not too sure whether or not it can get a second series, because of the fact that TLC is not really known for comedy and no one's really going to be like, oh yeah. I personally am, and I know that a good majority of people might, but I don't know if it'll do the numbers that TLC want for it to get a second series, which is quite sad. I could be proven wrong, because I want the second series off the back of this, but I do sort of see where the downfall could be, and it wouldn't be anything to do with the show, wouldn't be anything to do with the people who make the show in front and behind the camera. It would just generally be a channel decision, really, at that point. Because, if you know, when the BBC cancelled Mock the Week, for the next, 4 months, they rerun that previous series of Mock the Week every week in that time slot. That says a lot about cancelling shows. Overall, I thought that the round where Reece James was speaking as Muslim Prince Harry and Ed Byrne was translating was good, but it just felt out of place slightly. It just didn't feel like a round enough. It didn't like, oh yeah. It just seemed like they had to shove it in because they needed to fill the hour. I liked it still. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it just felt like it didn't really fit in, if you will. So, overall, I thought the Mock the Week was fun. I thought it was engaging. And I thought that it felt like traditional, classic Mock the Week. And Dara Bree was on top form as always. I do think it lacked what Hugh Dennis brought to it, but he will be back in episode 3. So we'll be able to get back to exactly what original Mock the Week was. But I really loved the gags about the fact that they mentioned about gladiators coming back, and it had young, new, hip gladiators. Like, it didn't bring back the Sky One gladiators. It had new gladiators, and Sherry Pascal made the joke about the fact that new Mock the Week had the original oldies. But I do think it's funny, because Russell Howard wasn't on it towards the end of Mock the Week's life. So I really liked the fact that Russell Howard's back to bring some of it. I do really think Adam Hills should come back at one point. John Oliver could come back at one point. I think that would really work. And I think having Alex Horton on Mock the Week would be fun. Greg Davis could do Mock the Week again. I think having new people like Helen Bauer would be good at it. I think Sam Campbell would be good at it. I think Christopher MacArthur Boyd would be good at it. I think Russell McCallum would be good at it. I do think Grace Jarvis would be good at it. I do think a lot of up and coming comedians that are on the circuit. Catherine Rivette would be excellent at it. Frankie Monroe do a character comedy on Mock the Week would be really interesting, really fascinating to see if that would work. But I think that this should be, from after the first series, this should be a breeding ground for new talent. I know they said in all the press releases much more people are going to be coming on to the show, but I do think like Ahir Shan should be the catalyst going, right, he's not on TV enough, but he was one of the breakout stars from Mock the Week towards the end of its life. Who can we do the similar thing to? Shall we get Grace Jarvis in? Shall we get Alice India in? Shall we get some of the greats in from the current stand-up world? Shall we see what next up comedy have got and think who's not been on the show before? Who would be brilliant? And I think that would work. Overall, I thought that I would give this a 9 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.